Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our June Trade Talks. Okay, hi, my name is Elki, and I'm your speaker for today. Okay, so let me share my screen real quick, and if you can hear me clearly, please let me know. Okay, please type let me know through the comment. Okay, then we're gonna start with our section for today. Okay, yeah. So yep, here we go. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the June's Traders Talk. Okay. So just a little bit about myself before we start. So I'm a dealer in from Interpacific Securities and Neighborhood. Okay. So I'm have been in this industry for this my 10 years on the equities dealing side, and I've been this industry since 2012. Okay, so currently I'm heading a retail dealing team in with Interpac, and we are having this traders talks with the objective of updating with our clients, our followers on what is the markets looks like, what's the potential catalyst, what are the important events that we are looking at for the months for the month. Okay, so we are having this traders talks on every Monday of the month. Okay, so for June, it happened to be today, 9th. Okay, because on the 2nd of June, it was a public holiday. Okay, so let's don't delay further. Okay, what we're gonna go through today is first we'll start with a review of what happened in May. Okay, what happened in our local markets, and following from that, we're gonna look into some of the what are the ongoing events, what's happening. Okay, and also some strategy like for month of June is we're gonna look into some of the bargaining hunting strategies, and of course last but not least will be some of the historical data and also suggestions for the month of June. All right. Okay. Yep. So let's look at what happened in the month of May. Okay. So in our last section for our last section in May Traders Talk, okay. So we had this seasonal table for the month of May, whereby historically in May we are holding a more bearish view for the markets, especially on a smaller cap counter like FBM small caps. Okay. Other than that, most industry, okay, and sectors, most of them they are going down. They are not going to perform except for healthcare. Okay, yeah. So if we compare to what we are seeing in this year, okay, we can see that for the FBM KLCI is actually lower. Okay, but surprisingly, FBM small cap they have been performing compare in contrast with what we are seeing from the historical data. Okay, so later on, we can look into the chart of the FBM small cap to see why is this happening. Okay, so for the sector wise, if we look into the sectors, the healthcare that's it prompt to be the most outperform one for the month of May. It ended up to be the most underperforming in this May for 2025. Uh, on the other hand, we are seeing constructions, properties, and also technologies are the one that performing for the month of May. Okay, so let's look into some of all these sectors and see what are the potential developments from there. Okay. Okay, so if we look into, we start with the gainers, the construction index. Okay, so we can see that for the construction index, it has been moving higher steadily in the month of May. Okay, so we have marked it out from 30th of May, April to 30th of May. Okay, we can see throughout the month of May, after it has formed a bottom and rebounding back above the 20 days moving average, construction index has been moving up steadily. Okay, until the end of May. So even right now, what we are seeing is we are seeing construction index continue to break higher and continue trades with empty space right over here until 330 over here. Okay, So if we're looking at construction index points, there could be still some upward space, upside to go. Okay, as long we don't see strong reversal, strong rejection selling down below 290 at this area or below the 20 days moving average. Okay, although from the stochastic side wise, we are seeing it has been going into the overbought region. Okay, but bear in mind that if when the trend is strong, okay, like what we are seeing right over here during early of May, okay, it can stay in the overbought region for some time. Okay, so we might see similar case on the construction index happening right over here. Okay, but do bear in mind, if we are seeing sharp rejection, sharp selling, and breaking the low, then it might prompt to a potential retracement back to 270 to 260 and 270 levels. Okay, so what contributed to the movement, to the rally in the construction index? Okay, so if we look into the comparison to the heavyweights, okay, we can see this green line is the construction index, and we are seeing Gamuda and also Suncon, they are trading better than the average index performance. Okay, and during the late end of May, we are seeing IJM also catching up. Okay, but out of all, we can see that Suncon is the one that really very strongly performing after the result was out, recorded a strong result, and then the share price has been shoot up and outperformed the rest. Okay, meanwhile, Kejaya is still underperforming. So are we gonna see that Kejaya to slowly to catch up? Okay, so that is something that we might want to pay attention and look into it. All right. Okay. As for property index wise, we are seeing that property index, it also rallied during early of May. Okay, but we are seeing the pullback during late section when it comes to the last 2 weeks of the earnings season for in the month of May, and then the selling wasn't that much. Okay, the selling was quite it was quite healthy, and then it is finding support around this 1000 levels and start rebounding. Okay, and if we look into stochastic wide, we can see that the retracement actually just touch the oversold level and then start recovering. Okay, coming back above 50. Okay, so from here we might see property index after a healthy retracement, it might retest to the high and continue to trade higher if we are seeing more encouraging sentiments in the markets. Okay, so if we look into the heavyweights wise, Sign Prop is the one that's outperforming the rest. Meanwhile, EcoWorld, we can see EcoWorld underperforming, but it is forming a higher low and start catching up with the rest. Okay, the third one will be the technology index, whereby we can see that during the late starting the mid of May, we are seeing the sharp selling in technology index, the reversal, and right now the recovering. Okay, okay. So for technology index points, it's slightly different from what we are seeing on property index. We are seeing this reversal to be quite sharp. Okay, comparing to this move. So this is a sharp reversal happening over here, and we are yet to see any strong recovery. Okay, any strong recovery. So from here, we need to see that at least technology index should recover above 51, 52 area. Then we might see a stronger buying interest to retest the high over here for technology index. Okay. Meanwhile, we are seeing that technology index has hit the overbought area on the stochastic side, whereby we might expect it continue to keep into sideways, then only attempt to retest the high again. Okay, so if we look into technology heavyweights wise, we can see that front Kent, as of right over here, front Kent actually is the one that leading the rally while the rest like Inari, like Vitrox, or even MYG are still underperforming. But when it comes to end of May, but recently we are seeing a stronger rally, stronger move in MYG, whereby MYG is moving higher, and we might see a further positive development. Okay, so during early of June, we are seeing picking up in some of the heavyweights, and if we are seeing there's not much selling down, it able to store, especially for MYG, and also what we are seeing here is Inari. Okay, the buying interests are quite strong. We might see a further buying interest. Okay, yep. Okay, as for the underperforming sector like healthcare, okay, we can see in the month of for the month of May, healthcare index has been really steadily going lower, not much sign of rebounding. Okay, and it has been constantly staying inside the undersold area. Okay, uh, although there's some that you can see is still steadily below the 20 days moving average and hovering, stalling, not seeing any rebound. But due to the indicator calculation wise, the stochastic started to move back, rebound off from the oversold area. Okay, yeah. So if we slightly to see some retracement, then we would be seeing that the stochastic start rebounding very sharply. Okay, so for those who are interested into buying so-called buying cheap, okay, you might really want to trade it short, whereby just slightly some rebound in the healthcare index, it might lead into overbought area in the stochastic. Okay, so for those who want to buy cheap and buy on try to buy on bottoming, okay, you might really want to employ a short-term trading strategy on healthcare index if you're trying to catch the falling. Okay, so if we look into the heavyweights wise, we can see glove are the one that dragging the healthcare index lower. Okay, whereby we can see IHH and KPJ, they are actually still outperforming the average, the index. But Top Glove and Hataliga, especially Hataliga, is the one that really dropped badly for in the month of May, and it continued to slide lower. Okay, yeah. So if you want to trade on the healthcare index along with trend, you might want to trade on KPJ for a higher low happening right over here. And if Hataliga wines, then you might really want to go and check if there is any MACD divergence, reversal signal, then only jump in on the bottoming signal for the Hataliga. Okay, so if you're not sure about divergence strategy or this thing, we will discuss it later during our session today. Okay. Last but not least, consumer product index wise, we can see that consumer product index, the selling was quite deep in the late May. Okay, with the starting mid of May. Okay, one of the reason I believe it was due to many of them, they might reported weaker results during the earnings. Okay, because if we look into what happened is in the month of January, February, and also March. That was the period whereby all the purchase, all the shopping has done in like maybe like in December or even early January, whereby the buying purchasing could be slowed down, especially after the bonus, all this thing. Okay, so and during that time, that was the time whereby a lot of uncertainties and also the worries of price hike, all this thing happening. Okay, so we are seeing along with the earnings season, the consumer products index, they are on quite a significant retracement happening over here. Okay, although we are seeing some of the some buying attempts to rebound and also stochastic recovering above the recovering, moving beyond the oversold area. Okay, but at this point, we are yet to see the MACD to recover back above the zero levels. Okay, so for one who consider to buy into some of the consumer products related counters, you might want to wait to see the recovering at least cross above the signal line, to cross above the MACD line, or even recover back above the zero level for a better entry area. Okay, so among all, we can see that most of the consumer counters, they are coming down, especially like Nestle. Okay, it came down more than 10%, more than near to 10% in the month of May after its recent rebound. Okay, meanwhile, Petronas again is still performing. Okay, in comparison to the index. Okay, yeah. So if we look into it, for the month of June, we will still stick with the trend, okay, of what we are seeing in the month of May, whereby construction and also property might still stay a chance for further rebound, but we really want to be cautious on technology-related counters, okay, for maybe employing a shorter-term trading. And as for healthcare glove counters, why at this moment we are yet to see the bottoming signal, and any rebound, it could be short-lived, all right, or just maybe a technical rebound. As for consumer products, we are seeing the healthy retracement happening, okay, but we are yet to see any confirmation of the bullish reversal, okay. And later during later part of the section, we will talk a little bit more about the consumer products and some of the things that we can look into, okay, during the later part of our today's sections. Okay, so right now we're gonna, besides of all this most mover for the sectors, we're gonna look into some of the major index and also the commodity trends for our local indexes. Okay, so for our blue chips index, FBM KLCI, okay, we can see that FBM KLCI, the movement for FBM KLCI is pretty much similar to what we saw on the consumer products index. Okay, it also starting in the mid after the selling down on the reciprocal tariff, the suspension, we have the gap up recovery, and the recovery has sustained through during mid of May. Then we started to have the retracement. Okay, yeah. So what we are seeing over here is we are seeing after recent selling down, the sell down has led the KLCI to go into an oversold stochastics, and with the recent rebound, we are seeing stochastics rebounding above 50 levels. It's telling us that it's developing a potential a short-term rally, a short-term uptrend. Okay, but this rally that we are seeing right over here, it could be still just a retracement, a rebound, a technical rebound of recent selling downs. Okay, the reason why is because we are still seeing the MACD below the zero levels happening over here. Okay, if the rebound continue able to sustain, okay, it might find resistance around 1540 area over here. Okay, and it can hold and continue to break higher above 1540 to 1545. From there, we should be more convinced on the buying pressure for the FBM KLCI. Okay, similarly, if things happen as what we are predicting, what we will be seeing is the stochastic, as it moved to 1540 to 1545, we should see the stochastic to go into overbought area, consolidation near the area, then we will see the stochastic to move back to the 50 area, and then the breakout, it should lead for the rally in the stochastic as well. Okay, meanwhile at the index back to test the 1580 to near to 1600 levels. All right, okay. However, if we are not seeing the breakout above the 1540 to 1545, the chances it could be further retracement happening. We might see a further retracement to happen, especially if any rejection from 1540 levels. Okay, so for you guys who are still actively trading the markets right now, I would say that for this week, is the sentiment should be quite positive throughout this week, and seeing the FBM KLCI to pressure towards 1540. Okay, I think it's quite safe to trade this week. Okay, but from there onwards, as the index is approaching near for 1540 to 1545, that is the area that we might really want to be aware and be really careful to watch out for any sign of weakening in the momentum or some profit taking signals. Okay, that could be a time for you to reduce some of your exposure and look for chances to buy lower again. Okay, yeah. As for the small cap index, okay, the small cap index wise, we can see that the buying is strong. Okay, the buying is strong. Okay, the reversal also, it was on a healthy retracement as well. Okay, it hit the 38.2% of the Fibonacci retracement level and start rebounding. Okay, similarly, it is a healthy retracement, and we might see further buying happening over here as well. Okay, back towards testing the 1624 area. Okay, yeah. So for those who are trading smaller cap counter, one thing that you really want to watch out is if the price continue pressure below 15,200 for the FEM small cap, then we might want to be really careful and reduce some of our exposure, whereby the selling could continue and pressure towards the 61.8% level, which is around 14,600 area, 14,600 to 14,800 area over here. Okay, so do watch out 15,200 for potential sentiment change if you are trading on a smaller cap counters. Okay. So how about the commodity sides? Is there any chance on the plantations or on the energy counters? Okay, so if we look into CPO price, okay, we can see that CPO price right now is on more towards a seasonally weak kind of period. Okay, we can see that if we compare to last year, where we are seeing the rally only come when it comes to mid of September or even late towards the last quarter of the year. Other than that, from there, from June all the way until September, it's more towards sideways and potential more bearish selling pressure. Okay, so similarly, what we are seeing over here is starting in March, we are seeing FCPO price has been weakening, and recently we are also seeing that will talk about the increasing in the productions. Okay, so we will expect that CPO price to remain weak or potentially staying in between this below 4,100 levels and even pressure towards 3,600 areas. Okay, yeah, so it could be likely to stay sideways in the month of June. Okay, and any further buying over here, it should be more towards a technical rebound, and we shouldn't be too aggressively either it's in off CPO or in buying plantation counters. Okay, as for Brent crude oil wise, Brent crude price wise, we are seeing starting in early of April, we have seen that the oil price has broke below the major support of 70 levels. Okay, from there on, we haven't been seeing the crude oil price recover back above the 70 area, as markets are really concerned about the potential weakening in the global economic growth, and that could reduce the demand for the oil. Okay, yeah, and also another thing that we are seeing is OPEC plus sites. They always have these options to whether they want to increase and rise their productions. Okay, yeah, so that is something that's back behind everyone's minds, and coupled with the potential weaker demands, it doesn't support the oil price to like really rally and also break the 70 areas. From even from right now, I will be still seeing that oil price, the outlook for oil price is biased towards the selling side rather than the buy or on the buying. Okay, so I will be really careful to trade on energy counters, as we might see a weaker revenue for some of these company, or even selling down in the share price. Okay, so for palm, for energy plantations or energy counters, for these two sectors, at this moment I will be stay really conservative. Uh, um, okay, yeah. For the month of June wise, if we are looking at technical side, we are seeing a better buying interest in the crude oil price. We can see this is a strong rebound, a healthy pullback, and then we retest the resistance of 66, 68. Okay, we might see further rebound to above 68 or even testing the 70 areas, and that could spark some of the interest into some of our oil-related counters like hibiscus. Okay, yeah. So, but do bear in mind that the rally could be short-lived as long the price remains resistance at 70 for the Brent crude. All right. Okay. So for those who interested to trade on energy counters, these are some of the this is the key levels that you might really want to watch out very closely. Okay. Yep. So that would be the review and also some of the outlook for some of the sectors and also the local in the benchmark index in for the month of June. Okay, so besides technical outlook wise, from fundamentally, what are the things that we could see? Okay, so I believe many of us, we can really feel the heat from tariff, but is this the end or is this the worst case? Unfortunately, it seems like it's not the end yet. Okay, just during just last week, we can see that OECD, they have released articles and also reports talking and also further convincing that everyone that global economic prospect, it is weakening. Okay, and if we look into our local sites, for the month of May, okay, for our earnings, many companies, they have reported an underwhelming first quarter results, and we are also seeing some of all these manufacturing indexes, all this thing has been coming down. Okay, if you pick up this article from The Age, okay, you can see that by an investment bank, okay, it is reported that fund managers, they are holding a higher cash level and also fixed income levels. Fund managers, they are shifting, they are actually reducing their risk exposure and they are shifting their assets into some of fixed income and also holding a higher cash portions. Okay, so when fund managers, they are also hesitating whether to invest into higher risk all these equities or not, and that would translate into the hesitancy in the buying interest in our stock markets. Okay, yeah. So and also, and not to forget that first quarter results is reflecting the results, the revenue, the net profit for January, February, and March, and we only started to see that the tariff being realizing and also start taking some of the effect in April, or even we have a post on the tariff. Okay, but all these reactions towards the tariff, it only starting in April, whereby there could be some of the posts on the orders, there could be some quick they also are positive development whereby advanced ordering before the tariff taking part. Okay, so that is something that we could take advantage of, but the demands could be short-lived from that. Okay, so from there onwards, we are actually seeing that the markets, the uncertainties in the markets that actually kills off the interest and also the sentiment and keeping a lot of investors, a lot of fund managers, they are staying on the sidelines and not putting the money into the risky assets, which is equities. Okay, so under these kind of circumstances, for me, I would be seeing that in my personal opinion, I would see that let it be June or even coming to July, we might see a slower buying interest, okay, a slower buying interest, or even we might see further dampening in the trading interest in the markets, okay, unless something has changed, something significantly has changed, and also the outlook for the market has shifted from bearish to strong bullish in any of these months. Otherwise, I would be still staying cautious, stick with what I have been discussing and talking in the in earlier April trader stock or even May trader stock, to keep stick with keeping more cash and also trading more on the short term strategy. Okay, so you can see my idea is pretty much in line with what all these fund managers they are doing. Okay, keeping more cash, increasing your cash holding level, so that whenever you see opportunities, whenever you see cheap valuation counters and blue chips, okay, then you can always to buy in some and hold it through the market turbulence that we are facing right now. Okay. However, despite being talking on all these risks, we are still seeing some positive developments whereby US and China sides, we know that they have slashed their tariff, and they have 90 days pause on all this tariff that they are imposing it to each other, and also Trump tariff might be blocked. Okay, but on this US court blocks wise, it shouldn't be too significant, whereby President Trump has mentioned that he will be even this I think is IECCP. Okay, IECCP is not able to go through. He will still look for other policies and other sections to get it through for this tariff implementations. Okay, yeah. So some of the key timeline, key dates that we need to look at, like for today, it's really important for us. It's really critical for us to see any more positive developments for US-China trade talks in London. Okay, and also what's happening to appeals on the tariff block. Okay, so that could determine the sentiment of the markets. And if we are seeing a more positive trade talks happening between US and China, that could help, and also confirms the reversal signal and further buying towards the 1540 levels for our FBM KLCI. Okay, yeah. So other than what's happening today, following that will be next week what we are seeing on the G7 annual summits in Canada, whereby we believe that the major discussion will be on Trump tariff, reciprocal tariff, and also we shall see if Fed's chairman Powell able to stick with his view, okay, for not to increase any rates, despite that President Trump has been pushing and asking for the rate cuts. Okay, so that will be next week, and after that will be the end of 90-day tariff suspension period. Okay, the reciprocal tariff suspension periods. Okay, yeah. Early of next month, it will be the end of the 90-day suspension ready. Okay, remember in early April, like 8th of April, we had the reciprocal tariff being announced. And yep, if we add on 3 months, then that will be 8th of July ready. Okay, yeah. So we believe that even though if we are seeing some buy interest by seeing all these positive developments in the US China, or even on the appeals, tariff appeals, it might need further appeals or words. Okay, the rebound could have limited upsides as the market's coming near to the end of the 90 days suspensions. Okay, so combining with the timeline of the markets of all these events, we might see for the first half of June, we might see a positive buying interest to sustain in the markets, rebounding on recent selling down. But when it comes to the fourth week or even the last week of June, okay, for this month, we should see more profit-taking activities and also selling ahead of the end of the suspensions. Okay, people will try to reduce their risk exposure and also exiting the markets. Okay, so for those who are trading actively in the markets, you might want to be really set your reminder to look into the markets to reduce some of your exposure when it comes to the end of the June, and that could contribute to what we are seeing the seasonality of for the month of June. Yeah. Okay. So at this point, what we for today we're gonna share on the bargain hunting strategy. Okay. Yeah. So in this kind of environment, this kind of environment, what we are seeing is instead of aggressively chasing high, I would think that bargain hunting strategy could be a more suitable strategy, especially if we are seeing another round of panic selling or selling pressure that happening by the end of June or even early July. Okay, so how one way that we can do this bargain hunting strategy is by identifying some of the below net tangible assets value companies. Okay, and from there we impose technical entry like MACD divergence or even trading on the uptrend breakouts. Okay, yeah, we don't just jump in and buy when the market is trading on sideways and going nowhere. Yeah, okay, because some of the companies, even though the share price can even though the share price is below its NTA, it can stay below its NTA for a long time as long the value is not being realized, and also there is no growth catalyst for the company. Okay, so do not mistaken this is a strategy that it's a show win strategy whereby you just jump in and buy as long as below NTA. Okay, the stock price might continue to stay below NTA for a long period of time as long as no growth catalyst happening for the companies. Okay, so for example, okay, so some case study for example, samples that we can look into it is you can find NTA from our platform under stock info or tracker. Okay, yeah, so you just after you have logged in, just choose any of the stock like MISC, and then you click the stock info and you click the stock info tracker. Okay, so from here you can see the net tangible asset value for MISC, which is slightly higher from the current share price. Okay, yeah, so for illustration purposes, I have found two that is the NTA is slightly higher than the current share price, which is M-Bank. Okay, with the NTA of 6 ringgit 24 cents, while the share price right now is at 5 ringgit 40 cents, and Marsink is about 40 cents lower from the current price is 40 cents lower from the NTA. Okay. Okay, so after identifying the counters, okay, what we can do next is we can look into the technical charts and to ask ourselves, hey, if this is a good technical entry levels for us. Okay, so for Marsink wise, we can see that Marsink has been trending lower in the year of 2025 from 1 ringgit 90 cents. It came all the way down to 1 ringgit 10 cents. Okay, that's almost near to it comes to a 40% or even more than 40%, near to a 50% drop from the high of 1 ringgit 90 cents. Okay, but one thing that we are seeing right over here is despite the strong selling in January, February, or even until April, okay, we are seeing the selling to be slowing down, whereby we can see the slope is no longer that steep, and also MACD start to form higher low, which this is giving us a MACD bullish divergence, whereby it's still forming a lower low in the share price, but we are seeing a higher low on the MACD. Okay, yeah, so what we need to do is either you buy on the bullish reversal on on Marsing, or you look for the price to stay steadily above the 20 days moving average and break out for the uptrends to happen. Okay. Similarly, if you are trading on MACD ones, then you might want to look for MACD to trade above zero levels and continue trades higher from there. Okay. And which when the MACD is above zero, then it indicates a potential uptrend, like what we are seeing happening over here. Unfortunately, this one, it break lower and trigger stop loss, whereby you can see the MACD also turn back below the zero levels. Okay, yeah. So another case study that another case which is MBank wise. Okay, MBank, just now we saw the NTA somewhere around 60 ringgit 24 cents, and at this point we are seeing the MACD for MBank is above zero levels and is crossing up, which indicate a potential continuation on the buying interest. Okay, yeah, but do bear in mind that we are seeing the FPM KLCI is the 20 days moving average is pretty much flat right over here, whereby we might see a choppy movement. Okay, yeah, instead of a strong uptrend. Okay, so if you are trading short term, you're trading on a strong uptrend, you might want to wait MBank to test the 5 ringgit 54 cents, pull back and re-break the level, then we should see a stronger uptrend moving from there. Okay, but if you say that you are trading on you're not trading on moving average, you're trading on the chart pattern, then yes, this is a rally, this is a pullback, and then it might continue to it might start to rebound with this bullish engulfing, and it could test the 5 ringgit 54 cents levels with a potential MACD bullish crossover. Okay, yeah, so it really depends on your methods and also how you are engaging the market. As long as a consistent method that you are engaging, you're executing, then it doesn't matter which method that you're using. Okay, yeah. Okay, so other than the NTA strategy, okay, personally, my view of the market is I'm also looking into some of the beneficiary counters of a stronger MYR, okay, like consumer sectors, and also some of those that could be benefited on a lower interest expenses. Okay, yeah. So we can see that consumer sectors has made a healthy retracement from after its recent rally. Okay, starting in April until early of May. Okay, and if we look into the ringgit chart wise, we also can see that the ringgit has strengthening. Okay, and continue to testing the 4 ringgit 20 cents level. Okay, so from here we can see that there is a good chances that dollar gonna continue weaken and ringgit continue to strengthen. And if you are seeing that, we shall expect the consumer sectors to be one of the major beneficial from this ringgit strengthening event. Okay, yeah. So do watch out very closely on the ringgit performance, and if we are seeing further strengthening in the ringgit consumer sector, consumer stocks, it could be something that we really want to pick it up and trade it in this kind on current markets. Okay, yeah. So for those who are interested to know what are the counters that could be benefit from ringgit strength, you may check for this article on the Star, whereby in December last year they actually highlight some of the counter. They are the main beneficiary of a ringgit strength, like Capital A, like Tenaga, like Axiata, like Genting Malaysia, Genting, all this. Okay, yeah. So if we look into some of the counters like Genting Malaysia, similarly like what we were discussing just now, Genting Malaysia has formed into a bullish MACD divergence, and out from that it has been continued to trade higher. Okay, from 1 ringgit 50 cents up to right now near to 2 ringgit levels. Okay, recovering from the steep selling. And on the other hand, Genting wise is also a MACD divergence, but we are yet to see the strong buying on Genting Group in comparison of Genting Malaysia. Okay, yeah. So for those who are interested in Genting, you now we spotted MACD divergence happening over here. Then the next that we want to look at is we really want to see if there is any strong bullish reversal signal, bullish confirmations, or even the MACD price, MACD trade above the zero levels for the potential upward reversal signal in Genting share price. Okay, so these are some of the counters that I think is worth looking at for the month of June. Okay, and also the view of the markets. Okay, yeah. So seasonality wise, if we look into the seasonal of June, what we are seeing is we stick with quite a bearish view for the month of June. Okay, especially seasonality wise, May and June is always underperforming compared to other months. Okay, but if we compare to the seasonality of May, okay, FPM KLC and also FPM small cap, the seasonality selling in these two index in the month of June is actually slightly better compared to month of May. Okay, so it could be poised towards more recovery. Okay, yeah. So I would see that bargain hunting could be quite a good strategy to look into if we are seeing further selling pressure until the end of June. Okay, but of course this is contrast with what we have with what we discussed earlier, based on the events that happening. Okay, yeah. So if I were right on the events, then we might see the rebound to happening right now, and also selling pressure to come in by end of June. Okay, which it would still continue contribute to the negative for the monthly performance in June. But from there, maybe July, we will see a better pickup. Okay, yeah. But for midterm investor, this could be a chance for you to pick up some of the counters when it's still at a cheaper price. Okay, yeah. So some of the sectors that we might really want to avoid, it could be healthcare, it could be energy, it could be telco. Seasonality in the month of June, these three sectors are the sectors that wouldn't be performing that great. Okay, so we can see consumer that I mentioned earlier. It's not doing that bad. Okay, transportation could be better. Okay, yeah, transportation could be better, whereby you can see the stronger ringgit could help Capital A, AirX, and also consumer sector as well. So if we are seeing if the ringgit strengthening just come in line with what's happening with the seasonality, then we might see transportation and so consumer could be the outperforming sector for the month of June. Okay, last but not least, for the quarterly result wise, okay, we have quite a number of quarterly results reported in the month of May. Okay, so following this growth stock growth list that we have in our platform, okay, under equities tracker. Okay, so we actually have from our platform, we actually have this stock info, and then you can click on equities tracker to find some of the lists that could help you to filter out some of the counters that is performing light. We have the highest growth in the net profits on the latest quarter, and also we have some of this company that has been growing in their net profit over the past 5 quarters. Okay, and if you want to know some of the companies that have they turn around from net losses to net profit, you can click on this list, or even some of the continue to outperforming companies that giving dividends, they are reporting net profits, then you can click on the continuous heroes. Okay, so today we for the monthly traders stock, we continue to focus on the growth, net profit growth for over the 5 quarters, meaning for the past 5 quarters, their growth has continued to grow. And for last month, we can see 7 of them has reported result, but only 3 continue to report a better result, like which is P Globe, Versatile, and also SCG Berhad. Okay, others like M Clean, like Muda Jaya, Aventa, and also Nation Gates, Most of them, they are still still reporting profits, but it shows the sign of slowing down already. Okay, and for the month of June, okay, My News and also Binastra will be reporting, and Binastra is a construction company, which is the market cap is in top 10 of the constructions company in Malaysia. Okay, so personally, myself would really pay attention and also look for Binastra quarterly earnings, okay, and also look for the signal if there is any buying interest in Binastra before the result. All right, okay, so that would mark the end of our June monthly traders talk, okay, today. Okay, so if you have any questions, any inquiries, you can feel free to drop it into the under the comments, and otherwise we shall meet again and also look into the market again in first Monday of July. Okay, yeah, and also for some of you guys that who are interested to learn more and also get more sharing from our sites, we are having a seminar, okay, a webinar actually on next Tuesday, okay, about chart patterns. Okay, yeah, so it will be at night. Okay, so if you want to know more, you can always scan the QR code and contact us, or even find it at our Facebook events, or follow our YouTube channel so that you will be notified when we go live and share the webinar. All right, okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for our monthly trader talk, and I will see you guys next month. Thank you.